I've just been lucky. I mean, but you notice I'm not rolling the 2s, right? If I wanted to, I could throw those 2s at the system and be punished accordingly, but instead I just don't take that risk. As a result, I might not be as efficient as I possibly could be, but I'm also eliminating a lot of risk from the equation, if that makes sense. No, I know actually about that show, Miss Esme. There's, oh, who is he? He's an actor that is like an institution in nerddom, who's the alien doctor in that small Colorado town. What is it? He played a character in, I believe it was famously Firefly. He's also done a bunch of various voices and things like that. And then he also was the pirate. He was the pirate in Dodgeball. What's that actor's name? Alan Tudyk. Yep, that's exactly right. It is Alan Tudyk. He's fun. I'd watch it specifically because he's in it. I think that's fun within itself. All right, let's see if we can finish this one. You got a 6. Let's do it. You dislike westerns, even space westerns? Let's see if we can knock that 4 in there while we're at it. Hoo-wee! Got it done. A passage has been found through the shaft. Time to find out what is waiting in the darkness below. A derelict bunker. Ooh. Which one does he play? If I remember correctly, he's the doctor. He's the doctor in Resident Alien. Is he not? No, it is Alan Tudyk, yeah. He plays Harry. Firefly has the Western energy, but it is mostly a space-like story. Okay. I have some advantages here. Let's scavenge some hardware, baby. Oh, this is causing stress to the system. Oh boy. Okay, you know what? Before we go play around with that, why don't we go extract that core sample, huh? Let's work on that piece first. I didn't realize I was doing stress just by succeeding over there. Let's work on this instead, huh? Let's just do the work we were sent to do first and foremost. Neutral outcome. But I'm getting stressed out, man. All right, we got to burn another day. We have plenty of supplies. I'm just worried about what awaits us on the other side. How do you feel about Cowboy? Oh, I love Cowboy Bebop. It was very fun. Very, very, very fun. I wouldn't call that like, I wouldn't call that nearly as Western, though. You know what I mean? Like, I get the idea, but it's, yeah, I don't know. Except the man who rides his horse everywhere, I thought was very funny. I thought that was a good bit. I enjoyed that bit. Not the best of rolls, friends. Eugen and Bliss woke up on the wrong side of the ship today. Okay, well, no time like the present. Oh, that wasn't as good as I thought that was going to be. I'm getting stressed out here, friends. I'm freaking out, man. I forgot that I'm not engineering this. I thought I was engineering this. Neutral. I'm getting real stressed out, but I've almost got the frozen core. Come on. There we go. We got it. Whoo! Hee-hee. A sample core, a long and weighty cylinder of cloudy ice, comes out of the borehole cleanly. It glows in the sunlight, catching the rays in its frosted interior.
What a beaut.
Eugen rumbles through the comms.
Looks drinkable to me. Hell, I'd be happy to slice it up and drop a few chunks in a glass of rack.
Let's not melt it down for liquid refreshment just yet.
Seraphin chimes in.
It's likely packed with unpleasant impurities. The question is, are they kind of impurities the far spindle can filter out? Let's get it back on the ship and we can run the analysis on the trip back.
Seraphin pauses.
And before you get any ideas before digging around on the asteroid some more, remember that if we break away any of the ice, Malik will likely dock our pay.
You start the journey back to the ship, dragging the sample core with you. As you do, you look back down at the asteroid, wondering if it might be the bargaining chip Malik has been looking for. You'll know soon enough. As fun as this derelict bunker feels, I just don't trust it, friends. I just don't trust myself out here, to be perfectly honest. We got a lot of time. Because I don't want to burn any more cycles, is the trick. Like, as cool as it would be to kind of find out more of this stuff, it's not a matter of the... It's not necessarily a matter of like danger here, so much as I have a lot of things I want to do still on the spindle, and I'm worried that burning time is going to hurt me over time. I'll give it. Tell you what, we'll give it one more cycle, and if I don't get there, then I'll leave. You sure how come? You'd probably get that. I know those stress blips are really starting to pile up, guys. We're going to take some damage here, I think. Yep. Okay. Good rolls, though. Good rolls. Good rolls. That's great. We can use this to our advantage. There we go. You pull a set of rare components from the crate. There's little else of value here, but I can fix my dice pretty well that way. All right, we're going to push it, get a little extra stress added on. We're going to put a 5 up. See, the problem is I should have let one of them roll because both of them are bad at scavenging data. Neutral, dang it. Neutral. Neutral. I mean, I can't be that upset. Hey, okay. If I can convince Bliss to get at least a neutral action on this, we can finish this thing up. Oh no, they're stressed out, man. They're stressing. There we go. We got it. A flickering screen catches your eye in the dark of the bunker. A distorted female face, further refracted by the surrounding ice, stares at you from the terminal with blank white eyes. You move closer, straining to hear her voice, but the recording is silent, or perhaps the terminal's audio output is broken. All you can do is watch the pale face as it contorts through the corruption and noise. It could be explaining some important secret, long forgotten, or just recounting a personal anecdote. It's hard to tell. Circles and curving arcs flash across the face, graphical visualizations of orbits and flight plans. You squint at them, the shape's unknown to you. And then, as soon as it starts, the playback ends, leaving a frozen frame on the screen. A ghost face, circled by orbits. You slot a drive into the terminal and copy what residual data is left, unsure where it might lead you. Once it is done, you shut off the terminal once and for all. As you leave the bunker, the pale face flashes once more in your mind. Those blank eyes, that flat stare. Was that a human? Or something else? You turn the image over in your mind, unsure of its importance. All right, we have done everything we can do here, and we are getting the hecky out. We are leaving! On the journey back from the asteroid, you pored over the tests Malik had given to you to run, improvising the necessary equipment from your mess. Each one produced spools of data, much of which you couldn't parse. Long but eventful Sunday. What's up with that, Susanna? Oh, wait, Sunday is Valentine's Day, heading out to a circus a couple towns over. Oh, that'll be fun, that'll be fun. Yeah, actually, it might be a good segue, friends. To scheduling note, no stream on Sunday, friends. Long story short, I didn't know Monday was a holiday. And we were already planning on going on a ski trip Saturday night into Sunday. We were gonna stay at a hotel near the ski hill Saturday night, and then go ski on Sunday, and then come back Sunday night. But the hotel that I booked has a 2-night minimum, which I completely just discounted. I was like, whatever. I book it for 2 nights, and then I just skip out a night early. It was like $60 a night, so it was like, whatever, man. But then Marissa was like, hey, I'm not working on Monday. We could stay a whole day and then ski Monday and then head back. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's brilliant. So long story short, we're skiing for 2 days. And as a result, I will not be around on Saturday or Sunday this weekend, friends, for streaming. So yeah, but we'll be back Monday. We'll be back to more Metaphor. Don't you worry. We'll make sure that we are back for that. Guaranteed. We're doing Refantazio on Monday, yes. And we're still streaming tomorrow. So yes, Friday, yes. Saturday, Sunday, no. Monday, and then, the usual kind of schedule throughout next week. That's the plan. Arriving in the vicinity of the far spindle, you broadcast these strings of data to Malik's personal terminal on the Springtide as instructed. Despite all his preparation, you are still surprised when you find Malik standing at the far side of the docking tunnel as you leave the rig.
Sleeper.
He nods neatly at you.
Thought it was better I come down here, away from my crew, to discuss your findings.
And the findings were?
Straight to the point.
He claps his hands.
Good. As I suspected, the asteroid was indeed rich with water ice. Thankfully, the contaminants can be dealt with.
He speaks matter-of-factly, betraying little emotion.
With the data you provided, I should be able to convince the Far Spindle administration of its worth.
That we're good. Malik smiles.
That remains to be seen. Before I make payment, I would like to ask in person if you saw anything else of consequence. Anything to share with me that might affect my dealings with the Far Spindle.
He folds his arms across his chest.
But prefer not to have any surprises when they go to retrieve the water.
Yeah, I'll tell him. Whatever. I cleaned it out. There was a shaft.
Interesting.
Malik smiles.
It's likely of no consequence, but if there's something of value there, it could play to my benefit. I mentioned the far potential of additional salvage to the Far Spindle administration. Given the data, it doesn't seem to have impacted the ice.
Malik reaches into his pocket and produces a stack of cryo chits, bound carefully with a strip of paper.
250 cryo, as agreed.
You take the chits and quickly tuck them away.
With that, our business is concluded, Sleeper.
Malik nods lightly.
Must speak with the administration to negotiate the release of my ship, and then prepare for immediate departure. The Syndicate will be eager for my successful return. Thank you.
Malik bows and turns.
Should our paths cross again, I will see that it will be to your benefit.
I had no reason, I think, to lie to him, you know what I mean? Use announcement to advertise the VGM event on Zeldathon Partner. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Instead of watching me streaming, why don't you go and watch Zeldathon, which is putting on a video game music concert event, raising money for charity. So yeah, Ongaku Overdrive. Is that what I'm saying? Right? Something flickers in the back of your mind. You stop. You have to stop to blink it away. There's a tightness behind your left eye, an aching point that refuses to move. Excuse me. Yeah, bad dice, you're right. And then the voice begins, hissing through the background noise of the rig's systems. A new whine amongst the chorus of life support and ventilation. Not again.
Sleeper.
The hiss brings Lane's sharp features to mind.
I suppose you thought you had slipped my net.
Hexport jumps into your mind, an image of the station immolating in white light, though you are not conscious to witness it.
You are distant.
His voice hisses into white noise.
But you are not free of me yet. I'm coming, Sleeper.
The hiss drops.
And I will retake control of what is mine. The closer I come to you, the more you will feel it.
Lane moves your finger to tap your forehead.
In here. Until you cannot resist.
A bright smile, pale eyes, a growing hiss that hurts. Then the hiss is gone. The rage suddenly quiet, the stinging tightness diffusing behind your eyes. But the fear remains. Sleeper, you good? Seraphim is there, floating by your berth. You were talking. Lane is coming. Seraphim looks alarmed. You feel him, right? He looks away. We can use that. Stay ahead of him. He squeezes your shoulder. We can do this. We're fast and smart. We keep moving. We don't stay anywhere for long. We find a way. He frowns. Somehow. You nod. You do not know how Lane is able to reach in your mind like this, how he's able to speak into you, but you want so desperately for it to stop. You must find out what he has done to you before it is too late. You must stay ahead of Lane at all costs. Lane is hunting you once again. His progress will be tracked by the hunt clock. If this is filled, he will catch up with you. It will increase once every cycle you spend in a hub. However, each time you travel, the hunt will reduce by 3. If you can keep moving, you can stay one step ahead of Lane. Boy. I don't like that. Nope. Don't like that one at all. You're right, though. He could have like ambushed us, but he decided to do the cool thing and tell us that he's coming. Oh, there's more to learn here, though. There's more to learn here, though. Wow. That was pretty good. Another new location, the Signal Studio. Was that what it said? Signal Station, never mind. Interpret signals and align arrays. You can do some work, get some money. We have a decent bit of cash, though. I do appreciate that. We're not really running low on that. Let's see if I can get a neutral. Nope, but that's okay. I took a little bit of energy, but I did find one. And that's all I needed. Another new location. Aw, man, we got ourselves a place to, the first one you just stayed in one station, correct. Only voucher members can gamble on the venture, but bar shifts are easy to come by, mostly because they pay in tips and a little more. Good night, Azrael. This is not a job. You know what? I'm never going to do this. Engaging is the thing I am terrible at. That sounds like maybe a drive for a future run. And not this one. As fun as that would be. But that's cool. Again, what I love about this is that I will find out that, you know, in other runs, I'll be able to specialize and do certain things that I can't do this time. And I think that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can earn a couple more points with Nemba here. Yeah, we impressed Nemba a little bit. These dice are trash anyway. It's fine. Let's go and buy some supplies, and then let's go do Eugen's run. I think that'd be worthwhile. Because that's the last thing I absolutely want to do right now. And I'd be able to get Eugen to join us, at least for a little bit that way. And then we can move on to the next spot if we need to. Let's confirm. Oh. Interesting. The way that this is described, maybe it would be valuable to get some stuff done at Hexport and then travel. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying is take advantage of the kind of the cracking on that. It does sound like a good idea. The only drives I have to work on right now, though, are Nemba, which I do want to do because I think it's that's usually a fun character to learn about, the food people. Then I think again the only other drive I've got cooking then is would be the station. Yeah, there's nowhere else. I'd have to get sixes across the board to get work on the venture bar. Let's do burn one day. I think we can get away with one day, and then see if we can knock out the Nemba thing, see if that builds something, and then go from there. Got some glitch dice. This is also maybe. You know what else? It might be a good idea to burn off the glitch dice when we're in town like this, especially when we have an opportunity for a safe failure here. I can just go burn off all that glitch and not worry about it. There we go. That was a nice positive outcome. If I can get one regular one, we'd be doing pretty. Come on. Get one neutral. Come on. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, let's just hang out here for a little bit. Get rid of these glitch dice because I still have one more coming to me. There you go. Got 2 6s sitting in the old tank. And at worst, I keep eating. There we go. Sleeper! Nemba wants to see you. You nod to the other volunteers as you wipe off your hands and clip your cutlery to the magnetic rack. You drift out of the improvised canteen on your way to the kitchen in the back. It was a busy shift, and each shift seems busier than the last. That makes sense, of course. You've been seeing the steady flow of refugees arriving from the inner system, and most of them, with barely a chit to their name, end up in the underhang. As you cross into the kitchen, you can still hear the rumble of the refugees' conversations through the hatch. The other chef leads you past the rehydrators and the hand-built centrifugal oven to a small office unit at the back of the kitchen. They knock on the door for you, then glide away to finish their own meal, leaving you wait by it. You look around the small but carefully arranged kitchen as you wait. Your shifts here having left you familiar with a mix of improvised and salvaged equipment, some of which you had never seen before you came here. Come in, Sleeper. Nemba's perched at a desk, uplifted by a small transparent terminal screen, reading glasses perched on the end of his nose. You've seen Nemba before, but not as much as you had imagined you would while working in a place called Nemba's Kitchen. Even though there isn't a proper sign out front, everyone in the underhang knows its name. The man himself is more a mystery. Apart from the occasional barked order in the busy kitchen, he is little more than a blur to you. Why do you work here? He barely looks up from his terminal screen, the scrolling text reflected in his lenses. Food is good. Ah. Nemba stops scrolling the screen and looks over his glasses at you. You do well here, Sleeper. You are fast, precise. You're doing good work. He goes back to scrolling. Thanks. Nemba lifts a hand in response. That's my worry, Sleeper. Good workers like you, they move on fast. He leans back and looks at you. 10 cycles, maybe more, maybe less, and then they're gone. And the team gets used to having them here, gets used to working at that pace. Then suddenly they have to work differently. They have to pick up the slack, change jobs, change stations, and a few of them think, well, maybe it's time I moved on too. So what I found is good workers are trouble, especially those who come and go like you. He pauses, watching you. Let him speak. This place, it runs on consistency, Sleeper. Those that turn up every cycle, good or bad, they get the people fed. He takes off his reading glasses, inspecting them for smudges. Let's be honest, that ain't you. So let's cut to it. I can't use it in the kitchen anymore. You're done. He shrugs. Sorry. Wow. I was too good at cooking, guys, and he's kicking me out. He's a precise humanitarian chef. But this place also runs on those machines out there, on the supplies I can rope in, the donations. Feeding refugees from the honor system is the logistics as much as it is chefing. He shakes his head, which is why I'm cooped up in the back. So maybe you're gone. I never see you again. Okay. Thanks for coming. We'll soldier on without you. Maybe you still want to be useful. Maybe I heard you have a ship. He smiles at you. Yeah, maybe I heard you chatting. Maybe I have a little something held in a place only a ship like yours can reach. I negotiated the purchase of some valuable inner system spores from a group that came from there. But they somehow ended up at the depot in Greenbelt. Nemba sighs. So if you head to Greenbelt and you find the delivery, you bring it back, well. Nemba looks at you pointedly. That would be helping. That'd be the kind of helping a good worker, even an inconsistent worker, might be able to offer me. Nemba squints at you. Seems like the kind of thing someone genuine, someone who wants to help for real might do, don't you think? He doesn't wait for your reply. But it also seems like the kind of thing that might sit on a list of priorities for so long it disappears and never gets done. I've seen that happen too. Guess we'll find out which it is. He deftly places his reading glasses back on his face and continues to scroll the screen on his terminal. You know the way out, sleeper. See you, Skyly, and have yourself a good night. You turn in the doorway, slightly taken aback, and it slides shut behind you. You glide out through the kitchen, through the improvised canteen and the people eating and chatting there, and into the cold underhang passageway beyond. All the time considering what you might do next, and recalling that persuasive glint in Nemba's eyes. So I just have to give him... yeah, I can't eat there anymore. Very interestingly. Very interesting. All right, let's burn the rest of my dice getting some good money. Maybe some scrap even if I can help it. I do love scrap. Good, good. And now we go traveling once again. We're good. Let's go. To the hidden wreck. He's locked in. Bliss is in. Let's go. Bye now. What in the world? I do not like Eugen very much, guys. I just don't trust him very much. It's not what you promised. Seraphin turns to Eugen with a raised eyebrow. Looking out across the field of debris scattered around the small asteroid whose gravity has kept them there, you have to agree. Where do you even start looking? Eugen shrugs, unfazed. Said the wreck was hidden. Transponder off. No flight records. I didn't say it was intact. It was an easy job. If it was an easy job, I wouldn't have come with your crew. Could have just grabbed it myself. He winks. We all know our share. That's definitely more than one wreck. Bliss is leaning towards the window, staring at the glinting debris. I see at least 3, maybe 4 different engine housings out there. Seraphin sighs. You really think there's something to be valued to be pulled from all that? I know there is. My tip-off is good. We just need to find the right part. He looks out the wide field of debris. Or the right ship. Any clues? What I know is that a wreck with an item of great value is out here. That's it. He unstraps from his seat. Are you all afraid of some hard work? Is that it? Seraphin starts laughing. So you're telling me we don't know what we're looking for, where it is, or what it's worth? Trust me or don't. Eugen shrugs. It's be worth your while. This is a hot tip. Sleeper, please. Seraphin turns to exasperated. Suddenly a percussive beep interrupts the conversation. All of you turn your attention to Seraphin's terminal. What the? He taps a few keys. We got an incoming ship. Their transporter just popped up. See? Eugen smiles. What'd I say? A hot tip. I better claim it before they do. He jabs a finger at the readout. Yeah, we have got decent dice at least. What have you got us into? Eugen looks innocent. I've given you a head start to a big hull. Don't waste it. I see a few obvious sights, large bits of debris, clear hull sections. We should focus on those. Bliss unclips from their seat and glides out the airlock. See you lucky kids on the airlock. Ready, Cap? Eugen slaps you on the shoulder and kicks out through the cockpit door.
I do not like that guy.
Seraphin shakes his head. Me neither.
What are we doing out here, Sleeper? He sighs. Look, just be careful.
You nod and glide through the cockpit door, already trying to map the scattered debris in your mind. Yeah, I know he offered to join us. I don't really want him to join us.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not that actually interested in Eugen maybe joining us as a permanent crew member. Maybe I'll find someone else.
Okay, just getting to look through what sort of options we have here. Endure interface. Engineer.
Woo! There we go. I'll handle that one.
Beautiful. Pump it up. And then one more ought to get us in there. Why am I stressed? Hold on, why am I stressed? The airlock is open. Time to see what waits inside. Scrape the terminals. It's just me. It's just me. There's nobody else. Oh boy. Well, we'll wait on that one a second. Let me tuck around and check other spots in the meantime. There is a timer. It's the other ship coming in to take us down. Ow, Eugen. Oh, Eugen, bad times, bud. Sorry. Nope, that's not you. That's not gonna be it. We'll throw it on Search the Wreckage. It's not gonna be as good as I want it to be, but you know what? That's just gonna be how it has to be. There you go. And then it's up to me to do this one. Neither of them are any good at it, so let's just get pumping. Positive. Negative. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That other ship's coming up in 2. Boy. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Not bad. Push it. Get it. So we can focus on other things. Ah, that's all we got, huh? There you go. Let's see what we came up on. An unstable cipher. Huh. A cipher is transferred an access code from the ship the shuttle departed from. Now just to find where that ship is. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I think it's the scattered wrecks we should look at. I don't think we're looking at the asteroid. I think we want to slot it into here if we can help it. Neutral, bud. Come on, get in there. He's fine. I'm letting him get it beat up. It's fine. It's fine. It's part of his gig. Come on, positive. Yeah, there we go. Keep it up. Not ideal. Come on, positive, 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 positive. Yeah! You find a wreck that is a likely candidate based on what Eugen knows. Time to investigate. Just in time for the other ship to come in. Yes! The wreck's outer door is sealed and reinforced. The only way in will be with an access cipher. Perhaps there's one somewhere.
I'm in.
God. Surely this means the other ship will come and we still have some time, right? 2 days was not nearly enough to get anything done here. Slice the wreckage. Let's go, Bliss. Nice, nice. You're fine. All right. Let's burn one more day here and see what happens when the other team shows up. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Eugen, you piece of shit, where are you?
The distorted voice rattles through the ship as you are all finishing your breakfast in the mess. Everyone turns to look at you, Jin, Seraphin already shaking his head.
Vesna,
He says under his breath. You suddenly recall the steel-eyed captain who confronted you, Jin, and the guy are back in the far spindle.
Open this airlock before I do something you'll regret.
As her voice echoes throughout the room, you realize she must be at the rig's entry lock, using the comms panel out there to speak into the ship. You kick towards the door, but Seraphin drifts between you and the exit.
Sleeper, you sure about this?
You can see he's angry, but is also looking to you for reassurance. Be ready. Seraphin nods and his eyes darken. I'll be ready. Eugen follows as you glide down the airlock and hit the control for the exterior door.
Let me handle her.
Eugen gives you a nod. Fine. He nods appreciatively and drifts forward between you and the airlock. You watch as the airlock cycles, and past Eugen you see the silhouette of Vesna through the viewing window as she removes the helmet of her suit. Though he has been playing it cool, you see Eugen take a deep breath in preparation.
I should shoot you right here.
Vesna floats through the airlock door, implants glinting.
But I wouldn't want to give the wrong impression.
Her metal eyes make it impossible to read her tone.
Is this how you treat all your clients, Eugen? Promise to deliver the coordinates they helped you to find, and then instead, when you find out their value, go to another crew to try to steal the prize from under their nose? I knew you were an amateur.
She smiles.
But I didn't know you were an idiot, too.
Tell whatever stories you want, Vesna. Until I'm paid, there's no deal.
Eugen smiles.
Did you pay me, Vesna?
Vesna looks frustrated.
You know as well as I do that payment was on receipt of the coordinates.
Well, sorry to say, I won't be able to deliver.
Eugen shrugs.
Deal's off.
You piece of shit.
Vesna's hand goes to her hip. Now, you're a guest on this ship. Seraphin's voice comes from somewhere behind you. Let's all remember that. You turn back to see Seraphin holding up a hull bolter at his waist, its wide muzzle trained on Vesna. Vesna lets her hand go loose on her side, abandoning her threat.
Of course.
She sighs.
Thought you might as well see the breach of trust in the situation. But I was wrong.
Get off the ship.
Gladly.
She backs a little towards the airlock door.
Eugen.
She looks at the freelancer.
Don't think I'll back off. My team can find this thing faster than any mongrel crew.
She smiles.
First to the prize takes it all.
May the better crew win.
Indeed.
Vesna slips back into the airlock and hits the control panel. The door is scissors shut. Eugen suddenly tumbles forward as something hits him in the side of the head.
Idiot!
Seraphin stands behind Eugen, having swung the heavy muzzle of the hull bolter directly into his head.
If you ever put this crew in danger like that again.
Seraphin's right. No, I want Eugen to know. He messed up. He messed up big, and he's gotta pay for it. Eugen catches himself on the wall.
It's okay.
He wipes a little blood from his forehead.
I get it. I was sloppy.
Your whole thing is sloppy.
Seraphin bristles.
This is how you get yourself killed. As much as I'm enjoying this display of aggression and idiocy,
Bliss's voice comes from behind you all.
We still have a contract to complete. They push past this to start suiting up. And now we have competition. We should leave. Seraphin slings the hull bolter onto his shoulder. Cut our losses.
No, wait. Eugen wipes the corner of his mouth with the back of his hand. All this and you're gonna give up and turn tail?
Eugen's right.
Shit.
Seraphin says, you are right.
All right.
He glides over to Eugen and pats him on the shoulder.
Time for you to prove your worth. They're watching.
I mean, we're close. We're close at cracking this thing. We gotta go, right? We got another three cycles. This will be nothing.
This will be nothing.
The cargo bay doors shudder open in silence as Eugen levers them apart. This is it, the final layer to pull back before you reach Eugen's mysterious prize. You can't help but feel a little excited. There's also a sense of satisfaction in the idea that you beat Vesna's crew to the wreck. You found it, you cracked it open, and now you'll be the one to reap the rewards. Focus on the job. The doors are open enough for a person to glide through now. Beyond, there's only the darkness of the cargo bay. You follow Eugen in, the headlamps on your suit lighting his back into the dusty void beyond. You see the boxes appear as if by magic out of the dark. Eugen glides past them. Does he not see them? You stop and take a look at the loot. A stack of 4 sealed boxes sit in the middle of the bay, their armored exteriors caked in dust. You wipe it away and squint at the aging label. They look like industrial ship components, still sealed, totally untouched. In the belt, where most tech has been through hundreds of hands, patched up and reconfigured, this is a solid haul. But not the kind of haul that gets crews fighting over it. Something doesn't add up.
They aren't here.
Eugen's voice crackles through the radio. What?
Back wall of the bay, come see.
You kick off from the crates and glide through the dark until you see Eugen, the back wall of the cargo bay, and something that confuses you for a second. A black shape, a ragged circle around Eugen. You squint. Tiny lights twinkle. Give me one second here, friends. It takes you a moment, but you slowly realize that you're looking through a hole in the wall to the stars beyond.
Someone beat us to it.
His voice is flat.
They're long gone.
Vesna?
No.
He points.
Look at the edges. It's a long time ago. They punched in and took it.
What was it? Eugen turns back to you, his face pale in your torch headlights. He seems to be lost for words.
Folks?
Bliss's voice comes through the suit comms channel.
I got Seraphin telling me Vesna's crew are heading this way. So whatever you got in there, if you want to keep it, grab it and get out now. I'm already heading for the rig. I'll get the cargo bay open and prep for your arrival. Don't dawdle.
Take one last look. You scan the bay and notice braces built into the floor near the hole. Whatever this thing was, it was big and tied down. Eugen suddenly seems to regain his focus.
The crates.
He nods.
Let's grab them and go.
You glide back across the bay, your mind still racing with questions. Something about Eugen's reaction tells you he knows what he was expecting to find here. If that is the case, you think it's yet another lie he's told you. You both reach the crates and quickly lash them together, guiding them weightlessly out of the room between you. As you do, you meet eyes with Eugen and he looks away. I really hope you 2 idiots on your way back. Seraphin trips over the radio. Because Vestas boys are just about to reach that wreck you're on.
We're inbound.
Eugen quickly responds, then clicks his radio off. Well, well, well. Seraphin continues. Tell me then, what ancient and powerful treasure did you find in that rig? Or that thing? Gold? A Conway warhead? 3 crates of components. Seriously? Seraphin pauses. Sleeper, me and you are going to need to have a serious chat. You cross the debris field to the ship in silence, your eyes on the scrap for a sign of Vesna's crew. You don't think they'd ambush you, but then again, you wouldn't put it past them. As you reach the cargo bay and guide the crates through the open door, you shoot Eugen a final glance.
Give me time.
He says quietly over the radio.
I'll explain in time.
You consider pressing him, even shouting at him, but you realize there'll be plenty of time for that on the journey back to the far spindle. For now, you just want to get out of here. We beat him, but for what? To what end? Didn't get a whole heck of a lot out of it, huh? Maybe we can burn the rest of our dice and get something out of this. Good. There you go. What we got in here, Eugen? Yeah? Yeah? Oh! All right, Eugen. I need you to come in on this. Even a neutral would do it. Yeah! You pull out a stack of good-looking scrap. This will be of interest to the Far Spindle scrappers. All right, we outie. We got everything done, and we can head on out before they even notice we're gone. Pretty good, pretty good. Eugen has spent the journey back to the Far Spindle, avoiding Seraphin as best he can. It might be that he is afraid, but you get the feeling it's more likely he has been making himself scarce out of a genuine sense of regret. Seraphin, however, doesn't see his behavior so favorably. Slimy shit, it won't even show his face. Seraphin complains loudly as he finalizes docking. Put us in a spacer crew's sights with no care for anyone but himself. Stay silent. You hear the rustle of movement behind your head and turn to see Eugen in the cockpit's doorway, a rare, serious expression on his face. I owe you all an explanation. His voice is low and steady. Believe it or not, this is not my plan. Yeah, your plan was to find the loot in that wreck and split with it, wasn't it, big man? Seraphin glares at Eugen. No. Eugen gives him a tired look. It wasn't. Hear him out, Seraphin. Bliss cuts in from the back of the cockpit. Vesna's been searching for a ship. Eugen looks over your heads at the Far Spindle. An infamous ship. Seemed like she already had a ship. Seraphin interrupts. That was part of the problem. Not a rig. Eugen looks down towards him. A fraction drive ship. An interstellar ship. That seems to shut Seraphin up. And you don't blame him. An interstellar ship here in the belt? That's tech from the core systems. No way. Eugen sighs. I get that you don't trust me, but I'm not lying. I shouldn't even be telling you now. Eugen frowns. Word gets out that there's a factory fresh fraction ship somewhere in the belt. People kill for less. He shakes his head. Gangs kill for much less. You're telling me there's a fraction ship that no one has ever found that's been sitting here since when? Seraphin shakes his head. Since the collapse? Believe it or not, that's exactly it. Eugen looks to you. Vesna put me on the trail. She wanted me to find its location for repayment. He looks away. An old debt. But the moment I found the data that verified its existence, that confirmed the ship that was out there, I couldn't give it to her. And that's when you found me. Why keep it from her? Eugen folds his arms. You may have met Vesna, but you don't know her. Eugen meets your eye. She's one of the last people in the belt who should have a ship like that. Well, no one has the ship now if it even exists. I need to remind you that it wasn't there. Seraphin shrugs. Your data was a bust. No. Eugen shakes his head. It was there. Once. Those wrecks? Those were ships that fought over the fraction ship. A bunch of Solheim corporates who wanted to get out of the system when it all came down. And that ship was their ticket. The Aphelion Path. Eugen looks out the Far Spindle. It was there, but someone moved it, hid it, long before we got there. Sounds like a fantasy to me. Eugen nods. I believe in this fantasy, Sleeper. Eugen inhales long and deep. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He looks at Bliss and Seraphin, and you both as well. Wanted to keep this a secret. Wanted to find the Aphelion Path, and I knew that if I did, you would understand. Still, I was wrong to manipulate you. He bows his head, but I'm not done. He raises his head, his gaze hard now. I will find the ship, and I will leave the belt. How will you do that? Seraphin shoots him a sly look. No ship of your own invested into your back? Oh, it is tempting, ain't it? The notion of having... Apparently, yeah, these people are just stuck on this side of space. Apparently you can't do interstellar travel very much. That is a tempting thought to have the ability to get an interstellar ship at some point. How can I trust you?
Only you can answer that, Sleeper.
Eugen sighs.
I would give you my word if it was worth anything.
Seraphin turns to you. I know, I always say it, but this time you have to listen, Sleeper. Seraphin gestures to Eugen. This guy's no good. I've known his type. Don't bring him.
This could be your escape too, Sleeper.
Eugen meets your eye. Get off my ship. Eugen nods, looking down.
So be it.
You heard him. Seraphin gets up out of his seat. Get out of here. Eugen looks between you, then ducks out of the cockpit. A few moments later, you hear the hiss of the exterior door opening. Good riddance. Seraphin leaves the cockpit. Yes, man said no! Bliss gives you a nervous look. Hope I never give you cause to be treated like that. That guy gave us cause, Bliss. Don't act like that was a surprise situation there. That guy put us through the ringer, and for what? He didn't pay us. He didn't give us nothing. We got a little bit of engine parts, sure, but that was it.
That was it.
You stare to the cockpit at the lights of the far spindle. Trust once broken cannot be rebuilt. And you have to trust your crew. Sleeper. Seraphin catches your attention as you leave the ship. Can I have a minute? Of course. Seraphin ducks into a maintenance passage and waits for you to follow. In the narrow passage framed by loose wires and thick conduits, Seraphin looks suddenly small, trapped. He looks at an open circuitry panel as he speaks, avoiding your gaze. You see he's playing with a coin in his hand, nervously spinning it in the air. Since we cleared export, I've been putting feelers out for something. He rubs his hands nervously. I've been in the belt a long time, and I came here alone. But back on Darkside, just before we made a break for it, I heard something. Heard someone was looking for me. He pauses, trying to organize his thoughts. Isn't one bounty enough? Seraphin smiles. I don't think this is a bounty. I also heard something else. They said the person looking for me claimed to be my sister. He waits for a reaction. You have a sister? I did, yeah. Or, I do. He shakes his head. But I don't even know if it's really her. Just because someone says they're my sister, well, I can't be sure. Rough, buddy! Thing is, I haven't seen my sister in a long time. I was still a kid when I left. So was she, though I don't think she would have liked to admit it at the time. He smiles to himself. I know you don't remember how it was. Back in Darkside, I mean. He sighs. But we were alone, you and me. Lane didn't let us out much, just to work, and that was all. So when I overheard one of his guys mention someone was sniffing around trying to find me, I didn't know what to think. He frowns. And then, hearing it could have been my sister, he goes quiet. You try to recall that time, the cycle spent under Lane's influence, working from in exchange for stabilizer. You close your eyes, focus, but the details flicker, the images collapse and reform. Has Seraphin told you about this before? Was this all part of your plan? You wanted to go find her. Yeah. He shrugs. It changed things for me. The thought that she could still be out there. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to get you out there too. He pauses, and you sense he is finding this difficult. No, it doesn't matter now, but I told you about her back then. Before. I'm sorry I don't remember. It's okay, Sleeper. I understand. Since we got away, since Hexport, I've been asking around, speaking to spacers, traders, and like I said, something's finally come up. Seems whoever was trailing me left Darkside pretty soon after Utsubo caught wind of her sniffing around. I doubt they made her feel very welcome, but I managed to get a name. The name she gave, Luz, wasn't my sister's, but that doesn't mean much. Gave me something to follow. She bounced around the wash a little. Far spindle, flotsam, not sure why. He squints at a loose wire.
The last thing she did was book a passage to Wellspring on a Lotic freighter. That's it.
How do you know this?
Mostly ship manifests and port records. A few favors on the quiet. I want to go to Wellspring, Sleeper, to know if it's really her. And if it isn't, to settle what needs settling.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Sleeper.
He meets your eye.
I will admit it's been strange reminding myself that everything we talked about back on Darkside, everything we did, it's lost now.
He smiles.
I'm glad you still are you're to see you're still you. Whatever that means.
Me too.
He nods. Anyway, better get back to it.
Seraphin squeezes past you in the corridor and glides back towards the engine room. You watch him go, wondering if your past together can ever be reclaimed. Your mind wanders to thoughts of Seraphin's sister. For a moment, you wonder what it's like to have a family. And if you'll ever know. All right, I think it's time to get off this station. I don't really have a ton else like that will be of value to me here. So I'm going to burn my dice and we're going to travel across the belt somewhere else. Make some easy money. Just a little extra cash for the road. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna reload up on fuel. And we are gonna skip town. Get somewhere else. Onward and upward, friends. Irradiated zone? Oh, God. Can't go to the, okay, so this is interesting. The scatter yards I can't get to from here because of the irradiated zone. I can go to Hellion Gate. I can't go to the green belt yet. And I can't go to the Hollow. I can go to Flotsam. I can't go to Holmes Rock because of the asteroids in the way. And I can't go to Wellspring yet either. So that makes me feel better about the fact that I can't, I'm going to try to fix myself first before I deal with, excuse me. Before I help find Seraphin's sister. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can take some some components to repair your frame, and so it's a good idea to get a hold of some. Fix a dice slot. We haven't needed a fix yet. I mean, the HasNav thing, yeah. How many points do I have presently? 2 points. I think I want to hold on to some points and try to get another upgrade on one of our skills here. Yeah, let's head to Flotsam. See if we can get our see if we can get at least a little bit of our brain back, or at least figure out how Lane's trying to track us that way. You know what I mean?
Seems like a good idea.
It's hard to tell where Flotsam ends and the ships parked at its many docking bridges begin. As Seraphin docks with the station, you realize that the rig now looks like just another piece of accumulated technology. One more bit of the driftwood added to the raft. Yeah, if you guys didn't hear, Flotsam is literally just a bunch of ships all squished together, which I think is really cool.
I love this place.
Seraphin smiles as he shuts down the engines. Never know what you'll find. You been here before?
Yeah, back when I first came to the belt. The crew I signed up with used to run salvage jobs out of here. Fun place to spend your wages.
You see Bliss eyeing the station with what looks like both horror and fascination.
You see the seals?
They point to some twisted assemblage of ship parts.
Total cowboy welds. They could pop at any moment.
Seraphin waves away their concerns.
Oh, that's just the outer layer. Heard there's 6 or 7 in all, so if one fails, it's no problem.
He stretches and turns to you.
Gotta taste some of the stuff they grow in the old Takahe.
He kisses his fingers. That's the good shit.
Oh, great.
Bliss sighs.
So many layers of redundancy and fallbacks, so you have no hope of isolating a leak and fixing it.
They rap on the wall of the rig.
Sounds like a ship by now.
Defend the rig! Seraphin joins in, the two of you shoulder to shoulder.
She got you out of here, didn't she?
She shrugs at Bliss. No sense of gratitude.
I was joking.
Bliss looks a little hurt and drifts out of the cockpit, shaking their head. You go to follow, but Seraphine puts a hand on your shoulder. Sleeper. You look suddenly serious. Remember what I said about getting checked out? There are artificiers all over this place. It'll take a bit of searching, but we need to know what's going on with you. What happened to the hacker girl? She said she needed to go on her own for a bit. We might find her again sometime, but not yet. That's why we're here. Good. Seraphine nods. Let me know what they say. I'm gonna go see if any of my old haunts are still open. He drifts out of the cockpit with a mock salute. Catch you later. You're left alone in the cockpit with a view of Flotsam's chaotic structure. You look over the multicolored plating. It does, you admit, have a certain charm. Yep, so we still got him following us around. Aw, yeah, let's go, engineer. Yeah. Already discovered a new location. And it's the bar. Interesting. There's a contract we could do out of the bar here. Only costs 8 cryo, and we get scrap and components. And apparently, it's a safe contract. Apparently, it's not too difficult. We'll think about it. It might be kind of a repeat thing. We'll see. Meantime, I'm gonna keep digging in here. See what else we can find. There we go. Another new location. Could buy fuel here. I cannot buy supplies, you'll notice. I'll buy some fuel. While I'm in the neighborhood. Let's keep analyzing the structure here. Not bad, not bad. And another new location. My goodness. There's a place and here's the supplies. Got it. Old Take is the oldest ship in Flotsam and now serves as a huge hydroponic farm, keeping the station alive. Shifts are always available. You know what? I can go just take a nap on our own ship and get a point that way. I think that's a good use of our single dice here. There you go. Neutral outcome. I'm less stressed. Sure. Fries and stew, spindle with kelp, and here's rice and mushrooms. That is fun. That is interesting, isn't it? All right, let's finish up this here. Good 5 roll ought to be here. Or ought to get us there. Nope, just kidding. One more 5 roll, please. There we go. The chaos of Flotsam intrigues you. Passage to passage, it is the most incoherent place you have ever visited. Wow. Plating, cladding, and cushioning of all kinds of conditions hides a forest of wires and ducts, interfacing in ways their manufacturers would never dream possible. Rooms are crushed cargo bays, flipped bridges, and eviscerated engine rooms. Patchwork corridors are lumpen with messy welds, bending worryingly along their length. It is, to put it nicely, a total mess. It's not that you don't like it, but finding an artificer amongst this chaos has been more than a little challenging. This cycle, searching these winding passages once more, seeing only scrap merchants and junk shops. You've begun to wonder if Seraphine had any idea what he was talking about when he advised you to come here. A sleeper? The voice cuts through the pungent air. Well, Never. Yay! I could do that voice. You glance in the voice's direction and find yourself looking at a small booth piled with tech. Behind a fogged and scratched plastic screen is a meticulously arranged counter, the only clear spot in sight. At it, an older man with wet and wandering eyes sits neatly. Excuse me? Man's eyes widen. Apologies, I wasn't sure you'd even hear me. Jean-Mi tilts his head. I didn't mean to be rude, please. He bows a little. That's okay. He smiles warmly, almost bowing again, his hunched shoulders accentuating the movement. How... He pauses, taking care with his speech now. How are you feeling, Sleeper? He beckons you a little closer. I'm Jean-Michel, so please, to you, Jean-Mi. I work with machines. He sweeps a hand above his counter to where you see configurations of tiny parts. Mostly small ones. He smiles. Not great. Of course. He chops with his hand to indicate a stool with a leg bar meant for perching beside his counter, and such is the clarity and persuasiveness of his movement that you obligingly sit. Your presence is a rare honor here. He smiles and looks down into his lap. I'm sorry if I make you uncomfortable. I'm just very pleased to see you. Can I help you with something? I was more imagining I could help you. I can see your journey to me has not been easy, he says with genuine concern. You track his eyes across your body, noticing the scuff marks on your thick, vinyl-like skin that are placed in broken parts of your body. The marks of violence. You pull your jacket a little tighter. Jean-Mi folds his hands over one over the other and places them on the counter. I do not know where your experiences have been, but I want to assure you that I see you as a person, a being, a soul, shall we say, as valid as any other. You look at Jean-Mi, his own age and wear also evident. A life of precise and careful work, shaping his body into a reflection of this process. You notice his unconfident way of speaking, which betrays a certain loneliness, a lack of practice. It is his turn to feel observed. I understand. You are kind. The frankness of the remark takes you by surprise. He looks down at his counter and begins to take apart a tiny piece of machinery that sits there. Many years ago, when I began my apprenticeship, I would find that whenever I saw something that, how to say, was not working well, I was fixated on it and its repair. He tinkers with the parts, twisting them precisely. Of course, the belt is filled with this kind of dysfunctional detail. And so I was busy, for many years, these small fixings. He smiles in reminiscence. But now I find that when I'm interested in a thing that is not working as it should, he sharply twists one of the parts between his fingers. It's because it might have some quality not yet foreseen or discovered. He releases the altered object into the air where it balletically twists in a hypnotic display, like a spinning top whose movements are totally unpredictable. Jean-Mi smiles at you, watching his hypnotic toy. I can see that you are in the process of becoming Sleeper. He catches the spinning toy between a finger and thumb. Let me aid you in this. What do you mean? Jean-Mi's precise hands drop to a device around his neck. He deftly pulls a pair of goggles up to his face, masking his wet eyes. Hold still, Sleeper. Something flickers inside the goggles, their face blank. Jean-Mi's hands play across buttons and switches on the exterior. Tuning, focusing. I'm just gonna let him work. Not gonna fuss. When the goggles are finally lowered, they reveal a look of concern on Jean-Mi's face. I think you better come inside. He kicks off from his desk and disappears. A moment later, you hear a rattle and a small bulkhead door beside the booth that you had assumed was rusted shut creaks open. Jean-Mi beckons you inside. Jean-Mi's workshop is even more cramped than you expected. As you enter, you are surrounded on all sides with netting holding bundles and bundles of terminals, servers, drives, and cables. At its center, a padded seat and a set of articulated arms mounted with sensors and tools fill the space. The seat, please. Jean-Mi gestures at it with a polite smile. What are you going to do? Not to worry. I only wish to examine you. It is non-intrusive. You tentatively settle on the seat, slipping your arms and feet into the straps meant to keep you from floating out of it in 0G. Jean-Mi floats beside you. He looks across your body. There is damage here, I see that. We will get to that. But I see something else here as well. This is why you came. He looks at you solemnly. Yes.
I've never met a sleeper. I've studied them. I was lucky to acquire some materials from SNR some time ago, in the interest of my own endeavors.
He begins arranging a series of sensors around you in articulated arms.
You're pleasingly distinct from those materials.
His eyes flash with excitement.
Am I right in thinking you have been modified?
I rebooted myself.
Yes. I see that your dependency on stabilizer, on the immune recoding portion of its makeup at least, has been broken.
He gives you a precise look.
But that is not all. You are physically modified. Not externally, but internally.
He carefully positions the final sensor.
Your tracker is disabled, which makes it impossible for SNR to find you. Congratulations.
He smiles broadly.
But this is not all. You have been modified, yes, but you are also being modified as we speak.
You feel strange claustrophobia at John Mee's statement. Modified? Seraphin rebooted your system, ran the recoding protocol, but that shouldn't have physically changed you. It only removed your planned obsolescence. How? Jean-Mi goes to a terminal and flicks a switch. Through the back of the translucent screen, you see a nodal web in the vague shape of a sitting body. Your body.
These changes appear to be complex, subtle, but consistent.
Jean-Mi goes silent as he taps at the terminal, the representation of your body rotating and unfolding in unsettling motions. What changes?
See here.
He points at a flickering representation of your spine, tracing a line towards your head.
Your nervous system is growing additional nodal points. Here and here. Meanwhile, your emulation interface is growing an umbilical access port, though towards what end I am unsure.
You instinctively reach back and touch the base of your head. As you do, the scan flickers and screeches with noise. You feel something there, growing under your thick vinyl skin. Can you feel a lump? Or is that just your imagination? You pick at it. Jean-Mi sighs and shuts off the terminal.
The changes are partial and in all honesty.
He gestures sharply at the sensors.
The resolution is too poor. I need to run a full diagnostic, but for that I would need...
He drifts over to another terminal and brings up screens and screens of text and diagrams.
Yes, some kind of medium to hold your suspended emulation. The access jack I can build myself, but we will need to bridge your emulation.
Jean-Mi speaks quietly, almost to himself.
A ship mind would be ideal for this. It would have to be high capacity, a prime ship mind, Solheim in origin. Perhaps Hellion Gate might hold records of any that are in the system.
He taps at the terminal. Jean-Mi turns back to you.
Yes, the prime ship mind is essential if you wish further investigations to be done. I will need this above all.
He thumbs the terminal off.
Sorry to say, Sleeper.
Can't you tell me more?
Accurately? No.
He meshes his fingers in front of his chest.
It is clear that a process has begun, but is yet to complete.
Jean-Mi busies himself with taking down the sensors and folding away the articulated arms. As he does, you try to calm yourself. He feels you have worms under your skin, and it takes all your focus not to pick at its seams. Jean-Mi suddenly but gently places a hand on yours.
Please, remain calm.
He puts a carefully restored rare component in your hand.
This can help you.
Jean-Mi waits for you to fall still. Then he leans back a little, relieving some of the strange intimacy of the moment.
For now, our work is concluded.
He meshes his fingers again and bows with a small head bob.
But you are welcome. Anytime.
Thank you.
Of course.
Do you have robot cancer? Of a sort, in that it is robot cancer that will allow some jerk, some jerk to control us, I think. Humble man who knows his customers' needs. You get up from the seat a little dazed and push away into the passage.
Safe travels, Sleeper.
Jean-Mi says quietly, placing the promised list in your hand as he lets you back into the station. You leave dazed, unsure of how you feel about the insistence of this man's particular kindness, most haunted by the idea of the unseen processes that are running within you. Part of you does not wish to know anything further, to leave this place and never look back. And another is desperate to immediately retrieve every object on this list so that you may know what strangeness is happening within you. For now, you must steady yourself and find a way to continue. What if we found out that there was like a quiet drive ticking this whole time? How terrifying that would be, you know what I mean? Seraphin comes to find you in your bunk. After Jean-Mi's assessment, you find yourself drifting back to the rig and needed the familiarity and comfort of your own ship. Sleeper? He drifts in. You find an artificer? He hovers by the door looking concerned. Nah, I'm explaining, man. Seraphin and I are ride or die. If I hide anything from Seraphin, the trust barrier's just gone. You tell him about Jean-Mi, how he offered you repairs and ran an assessment of your frame. You describe the cramped booth, the articulated arms, the strangeness of seeing your own body anatomized upon the terminal screen. Then you tell him that your body is changing, growing in ways Jean-Mi cannot identify. That some process has been started, and you do not know where it will end. You mention umbilical ports and nodal points, trying your best to remember the details of the things Jean-Mi asked you to retrieve. Excuse me. Seraphin grows pale and silent. He shakes his head when you stop talking. Lane. He frowns. That piece of shit has to be behind this. Perhaps. For sure. Seraphin looks stubbornly at the floor. We'll get you what you need. We'll find that ship mine. He nods. Bit of work here and there and we can make it to Hellion Gate and wherever else. What about your stuff? We'll do that too. He thumps the wall. We're free, Sleeper. No one can stop us. Just say the word, okay? He goes quiet. Don't give up on yourself just yet. He smiles. Get up and get back to it. With that, he turns and kicks down the corridor, disappearing from sight. You wait a little while, staring at the stained ceiling of the bunks, letting the thoughts settle in your mind. And then, when you're ready, you get up and leave. Dazed, but with a stony determination growing in your chest. Oh boy! Yeah, he just wants a ship mine. A prime ship mine. Not any old standard ship mine, mind you. He wants the good stuff. Oh, okay. Those engine components are not cheap. You know, I was worried, like, oh man, I got all this ship mine or all these engine components, but what am I really going to do for them? But the fact that they're each 50 cryo, that's pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. So it looks like I can do some work there, potentially. I could work the hydroponics. Not a ton else to do at Flotsam, to be perfectly honest. It leads on the Hasnav. I think they said that I needed to go to Wellspring to get that. Maybe? Something like that. Nothing here. Might actually say somewhere in here. No. It does not. But that's okay. The narrow escape. Wonder if I should go and do this. Seems like an easy enough job.
Let's give it a try. What's the worst that could happen?
Excuse me. Let's go to the integrator offices and make some little bit of cash. There you go. Some 8 cryo and a piece of raw scrap. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. Let's do something a little risky. And got a little extra cash for our trouble. Okay. We'll do one more trip out here today, friends, and then I think we'll call it quits for the night. How far? Yeah. Fortunately, I was hoping to find another crew member out there, but again, they said it's a safe gig, so maybe this will be an easy crab. Keep your hands where I can see them. The voice crackles over the open channel of your suit comms as you near the stranded rig. You slow your approach a little as you move towards the ship, its shape lumpy and skeletal in the distant light of the sun.
Warm welcome. Bodes well for the rest of the job.
Bliss shoots you a concerned look. You look up at the stranded ship ahead. Clearly, they are feeling a bit exposed. We're here to help.
Well, I figured that.
The voice retorts.
Otherwise, I would have put a hole in that shiny rig of yours already.
You arrive at the side of the rig, inspecting the damage as you do. Half the hull plating and big chunks of the internal structure seem to be missing. You have the feeling that this is not what you were here to fix. The airlock opens and you move inside, the interior all exposed wires and metal framework. The systems wheeze and shudder as it cycles. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this jamoke.
Nothing of value here, so if you're looking to steal something, you're welcome to it.
Alma greets you plainly inside the rig.
You do the work that's needed, I'll let you take your half of the haul.
Straight to business, I see.
Ain't that what you're here for?
Oh, her face, sorry. Her face is as placid as unchanging as a rock.
If you're expecting a tea party, you'll be sorely disappointed. Sorely.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping the voice for sure.
Here's the short of it. Engine's cooked out on me and I'm no engineer. Can usually get her going, but this time no dice.
She looks between you and the rest of the crew.
Surprised there's so many, to be honest.
What, 3? Bliss smiles sympathetically.
Sorry about that, but don't worry. I've worked on these engines before.
They give Alma a wink.
I can handle this.
Don't be so sure.
Alma leads you towards the engine room. The layout of her rig much is the same as yours.
This girl's a sensitive type. Need to know how to handle her.
The central corridor of the ship snakes in a way that isn't familiar to you. You realize this rig is far more heavily modified than your own. Something that becomes all the more obvious when you arrive in the engine room. Rather than the rig's stock engine, a singular block and double turbine with feed lines between, Alma's engine's a mess of piping and feed lines linking up multiple raw components welded to the interior frame of the room. Your eyes widen at the sight.
Been adding to her since I was young.
Alma smiles at the chaos.
Might look like a mess, but she purrs when she's running.
Bliss is shaking their head slowly. Oh, sleeper. They let out a puff of air.
This is going to be special.
You struggle to tell if they are intimidated or impressed. Perhaps it's a little of both.
That's about it.
Alma gestures the exploded engine.
Get her running, I've got your half of the haul.
We'll do what we can.
Hope you aren't time wasters.
Alma squints at you.
You certainly are a strange crew.
Alma glides over to a window set in the side of the engine room and points to the corroded remains of a facility deep in the asteroid's loose, dusty surface. Want to play a space sim where that ship is a possible result? FTL, to my knowledge, or to like the base of my experience, was kind of that, where you really just sort of slowly piece together exactly what you wanted out of that ship, and it was very fun. Alma glides over to a window set in the side of the engine room and points to the corroded remains of a facility deep in the asteroid's loose, dusty surface.
And that's the hull. That there's the hull.
She taps on the glass.
It's good to find I've seen.
The hull's a building?
Building, that's all that's in it.
Alma screws up her face.
What, are you too good for scrapping?
A lot about fighting. Yeah, no, FTL's mostly fighting, it's true.
By rights, that building's mine. Scrap is clean.
Alma scratches her mess of hair.
If you help me get her running, and you are welcome to take what you want from it. Up to a maximum of 50% of raw mass, that is.
You have to extract it ourselves? She looks at you up and down, and you feel the first acknowledgement of you being a sleeper.
I doubt it'll be trouble, one of you. Anyway, you're leaving with nothing unless my girl here is back in shape by the time you're done.
She folds her arms across her chest.
So get to it.
You turn back to the engine, your eyes tracing the madness of the interlocking systems. You're starting to have that horrible feeling that this contract is some kind of elaborate joke. Oh, Bliss, that's not great. Oh, Bliss, I could have used something better than 2s. All right. Well, best get to it. Alma's girl, the old engine has seen a lot of use and modification. Fixing it means learning how it works. Let's push it! Get that to a 4, then get that to a 5. Come on, get that positive. Dang it! Ugh, I'm stressed now. Oh, man. There we go. Yeah. All right, well, that's day one, unfortunately. That does sound cool, Vera Volpine. A 2 and a 1, Bliss. A 2 and a 1. Bliss. I can do this all myself, is what I'm finding out.
Sometimes, Bliss, just sometimes.
One more point ought to do it. Come on. There you go. You gather in Alma's rig to see the engine tested. The engine room purrs and chitters. It seems to warm with the sound of the engine, with the polyrhythmic vibrations that rattle through the open framework of the interior. You look over at Alma and see her eyes are closed, a small tremble at the corner of her mouth. You look at the engine, Alma's engine, an object that you have come to respect over the past cycles, even if you haven't necessarily grown to love it. It is, as you see it now, a difficult thing to love. Whole parts of it make little sense. Its oldest systems, those now bypassed and made obsolete by newer additions. Some still somehow play an integral role you don't understand. It is unwieldy and unnecessarily so. And the accumulation of parts and patches from its long service makes it surprisingly fragile. Meanwhile, other sections have been welded and re-welded so many times that they are impregnable and will never be able to replace. Yeah, Bliss didn't move a muscle. So frozen by indecision by this grand mess. It is uncooperative and prone to sudden outbursts of cooling fluid or even fuel. It is restless and will begin to leak when left idle for too long. It is always too cold or too hot thanks to the coolant in the fuel, and it is hard to predict which it will be at any given moment. And yet, despite all this, it is an object you feel close to, that you feel a kinship with, because, in the end, you too are an accumulation of broken parts, long outliving their operational limits. You, too, are a machine that has become a story that has grown beyond the ability of others to understand it. You look over at Alma again, and Bliss is there beside her. You can see they are talking, but with the engine running, you cannot hear them. You watch for a moment. Bliss now patiently listening, as in faltering words, Alma explains something to them. Bliss nods, and then suddenly they embrace, gently and with care. Bliss pushes back, and as soon as the moment has passed, it seems like it might not have happened at all. Nothing in the two figures' attitudes betrays the act, and the room seems unchanged. You try to remember if you've seen them speaking before now, but you recall that there are many moments when you are not with Bliss. As you watch Alma approach, you realize the engine is not just special to you, and that between her and Bliss might have been the bridge to a unique kind of respect.
That's the job, Sleeper.
Alma approaches from the other side of the room.
You know where the payment is to be found. I believe that brings our business to an end.
Alma scratches her hair.
Unless you have something to add.
What do you do now?
I believe that's my business.
She bristles at the question.
I need to find somewhere quiet to resupply and so on. I don't think you have my usual haunts.
She gives you a sly look.
Appreciate the assistance. Welcome to take what you want from the hangar if you haven't already.
You see a knowing shimmer in her eyes.
I must kindly ask you to leave my ship.
As the airlock cycles, you look across at Bliss and swear you see a tear in their eye. What did Alma say? Bliss turns to you as if they forgot you were there.
She just reminded me of why I do what I do. Why I fix things.
They look ahead.
There's beauty in it.
You find yourself drifting away from Alma's rig in a haze of thoughts. It's clear to you at this point that Alma's history is written all over this place. But more than that, well, you can't be sure. The story, it seems, isn't for you. You realize, as you gaze at the broken remains of the facility, that Alma never took any of her half of the haul. You turn back and squint at the cockpit of her rig. You see her stand there looking out across this wasteland, still as a statue. It's an image that, as you load into the rig and begin the preparations to depart, will stick with you. One that, every time you enter the engine room of your ship, a room almost identical to the engine room of Alma's rig, will leap into your mind. A woman, floating above the wreck of what was once her home, looking for a reason to keep going. Oh, man. Oh, man. I see. This is where she lived. This was her life. Oy. That hurts. Okay, that's a stressful business. Understood. Understood. Well, let's see if we can get Bliss to roll a little bit better next time, huh? Yeah, that's better. That is already better. Get in there, Bliss. Bliss can take a little bit of stress. That's fine. Keep plugging away. There's apparently a hidden treasure somewhere in here. No, negative! Aw, man. Push it! Push it! No! Oh, that sucks. All right. Getting closer, though. Oh, positive, positive, positive. Yes! One more. Come on! I don't care about the raw material. We have a pile of scrap. We have so much scrap we are not touching right now. I'm more interested in hidden treasures. Good enough. There's a hiss and a rush of stale air as the sealed bay, deep into the facility's tunnels, opens for the first time in years. What if there's a ship mind in here, by the way? What if there's one of those in here? The beams of your suit lamps reach into the dark, picking out waves of dust and debris. They reveal a small bay, big enough for a shuttle, but not a rig like yours. As you glide inside, those same beams catch on the frame of something that sits in the center of the bay. It is wide and flat, with a cylindrical central section that runs its length. As you move around it, looking at the sections of plates and open frame, you realize that it is a ship. Or at least it was. This frame, filled with rusted components and partially covered with old hull plates, suggests a fast ship, an arrowhead designed to cut through debris and even atmosphere. You float up a little to see its central cylinder. Your lamps reveal a cockpit outfitted for 2 people. One sat behind the other. The seats are carefully upholstered, and you realize this was a labor of love. The whole ship, in fact, seems to be built by hand. A custom model with little function out here, beyond looping around asteroids for the thrill of it. Looking closer, brushing away the surface of corrosion, you see flames painted on the hull plates in curling patterns. The brush strokes visible even after what must be many years. As you inspect the half-finished ship, a sense of quiet wonder keeping you silent, you notice a glint towards its rear. You approach it and see an engine, all interlocking tubes and flared vents. It is unlike any you've ever seen, but the holes in its sides suggest it may never have been finished. Those holes are the source of the glint. You reach in and pull out some strange-looking engine components, each pristine and complex. You hesitate for a moment, suddenly feeling like you shouldn't be disturbing such an intimate object. But it occurs to you that nothing would please the person who built this ship more than seeing these handmade components put to use. You secure them to your suit and push away from the ship. As you leave the bay, you turn and take one last look at the treasure inside. It's possible that it never flew. Or perhaps it was in the middle of an extensive refit when this place was abandoned. Either way, its flying years have long since passed. And now, with the bay open, it will corrode much faster, melding with the atomized scrap of this place in mere cycles. You suppress a shiver and then start the journey back up to the surface, aware of the components dangling at your side. If it wasn't clear, friends, I'm pretty sure what we're supposed to kind of intimate from that this is where Alma was living. It sounds like she was living with someone else here. And then we just kind of got a glimpse into her life along with whoever else was here with her. And that she was running out of reasons to stay. It really sounds like it Like the place is falling apart, her ship's falling apart. There's not really any, and whoever was with her is long gone for whatever reason. And so with all that in mind, there's nothing keeping her here. And so she didn't come under some sort of distress trying to escape here. It was just her time to go. Let's head back to Flotsam. I think we've done what we've needed to do here. I'm not that interested in the components, or the regular components, like I said. The scrap, I have scrap. I have 5 bits of raw scrap. I have 5 engine components, 9 rare components. Feeling pretty good in all that sort of sense. And friends, I think that is where we will call it quits for the night. We will return back to this game Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, with plenty more places to explore and find, and new stories to run into. That was very good. I was worried that maybe this was the sort of game that would have kind of like optional side quests that were just kind of collectathons. And at first I thought that little contract was going to be that. But instead we got a very poignant little self-contained story that I really enjoyed. And that's what I love about this game. For a game all about space and tech and ships and robots and all of that jazz, those are only instruments by way of learning more and growing to enjoy, trust, and even love humanity through it all. And those are some of the most treasured sort of games and stories, is where the world is used to better inform how we treat each other. I really like that, and I'm excited to continue our adventures with it. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, friends, is the next time. Otherwise, we're only doing one more stream this week. That is going to be tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're getting ourselves back into more of Metaphor Refantasio. Then no stream Saturday, no stream Sunday, friends. Just to be clear, I'm going to be gone Saturday. I'm going to be gone all day Sunday. And then I will be returning Monday, but I will be back in time to stream for sure on Monday. So don't worry about that. That'll be more Metaphor Refantasio on Monday. Then the following Tuesday is when we'll return to Citizen Sleeper 2. No Wednesday stream, by the way. Just to be clear, we're still continuing our improv adventures. Thursday, we'll be back to more Citizen Sleeper 2. And then Friday, we'll have ourselves a nice another night of Metaphor. And then maybe Saturday, friends, I'm thinking about maybe trying to do a Minecraft night. Like an SMP community night. I should probably put messages out on the server for that, but I think that's probably what we'll do. Thank you so much, by the way, friends, for chilling with us tonight. I do appreciate you. We will go and find someone to raid. See you, Space Cowboy. Now, Valentine's Monster Prom Camp. That could be fun. That could be neat. Depending on how early I got out of work, I could do a like kind of a 2-parter stream, you know what I mean? Start it off with like Monster Prom and then like finish it off with Metaphor. We'll see. Depends on how hard my work day is tomorrow. Steps, I'm currently at 9,441 steps, so no worries today. That one is easily knocked out. That's between dancing and cooking today. That's what I've been doing. Just always take a picture of my watch before I forget. All right, friends. Yeah, like I said, we'll go find someone to raid. Sorry we went so late tonight, but I'm just so pulled in by this story. I know it may not be for everyone, but it is precisely my shit. You know what I mean? Like, it is exactly the world that I enjoy like digging into, because in addition to the story being really cool, the game gives you so many opportunities to feel clever. Right? Like, I'm always staying one step ahead of the game, even though that's probably not true. It feels good. Like, I've got myself a pretty good assemblage of stuff, and I don't know if it's because I'm like because the game's going to start ripping me a new one soon, or because I've played a lot of the first Citizen Sleeper and kind of know what to expect and what to like kind of manage as we go. But I feel good. I feel strong. I feel like I've done well for myself. Yeah, I put 77 hours into the first Citizen Sleeper, so I kind of, you know, I've got a notion about how this game works. It's pretty fun. I've done like three different runs of the original Citizen Sleeper, and I highly recommend it. The game's great for you know, for continued replayability. I mean, even as you saw with this one, I absolutely ditched the guy that I could have had on my team because I didn't trust him. But I'll go back and play another run sometime where I will trust him, because that's half the fun.